against the Chicago Cubs in a matchup that goes back over 100 years.
100 years ago, San Francisco was still developing on its way to worldwide notoriety. And tonight, we revisit those days and look back to 1912 on the Turn Back the Century Day at AT&T Park. And welcome to Baseball Night in America on Fox. No one hotter than Melky Cabrera leading the National League in base hits in this afternoon. San Francisco time, the Chicago Cubs take on the San Francisco Giants, and Starlin Castro also has been red hot. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Bay Area on a beautiful late afternoon. Dick Stockton along with Eric Karros, and the Giants are making a move. They were 7.5 games behind the Dodgers in the division on Sunday. They have shaved 3.5 games off and now are 4 back of L.A.
Yeah, and this is a ball club that lost their all-star closer before the season started. Pablo Sandoval's been on the disabled list. They haven't won a game that Tim Lincecum started since April. You'd think, what a disaster. But Bruce Bochy has these guys right where he wants them. Big reason, Melky Cabrera. 51 hits last month, scored 24 runs. He has been on fire. Bruce Bochy, he compared him to a former teammate of his, Tony Gwynn. That's pretty lofty praise from your manager.
And they have a pretty lofty pitcher on the mound, Matt Cain, who's been effective against the Cubs this year and is shooting for his 5th straight win. Matt Garza on the mound for the Cubs. Miles per hour. It's been blowing right to left and out to center, so we'll see. Meanwhile, today's starting lineup for the Cubs brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Tony Campana is in center field leading off. Starlin Castro is at shortstop. David De Jesus will be in right field and Alfonso Soriano in left. Ryan LaHare is at first base. Steve Clevenger behind the plate. Darwin Barney is at second base. Joe Mather is the third baseman, and Matt Garza on the mound for the Cubs going against Matt Cain. Making his 11th start, 5-2, and shooting for his 5th straight victory.
Well, Matt Cain has really been the horse of this ball club this year. He has fared very well in his career against the Cubs. 5 times he started against them where he didn't even give up a run while he was in. For him to be effective, be around the plate. This is a free swinging ball club. Let him put the ball in play. Don't walk him.
And this opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds. And the first pitch from Matt Cain is taken for ball 1. Tony Campana leading off. And there you see the uniforms that these teams wore in 1912. In fact, the Giants were known, of course, then as the New York Giants. This is why we have the NY insignia.
I'll tell you what, though, if they really wanted to go old school, there'd be no helmets. How about that?
And taking the pitch for a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. You know, there's got to be a little tinge of the present day, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Campana hitting .297 with 4 runs batted in. Starlin Castro is on deck for the Cubs, and the pitch misses, and Cain falls behind 3-1. Has walked only 13 batters this year, the fewest of any Giant starter, and 7th in the league with 66 strikeouts. In there for a strike, and the count is full to the leadoff hitter Campana. Chris Conroy is the home plate umpire. Mark Carlson is at first. Corey Blazer is the umpire at second, and Angel Hernandez is over at third. Ground ball, and it's fielded by Aubrey Huff. He'll make the play unassisted, and there's 1 away in the first inning. And here's a look at the Giants defense, brought to you by Scott's. Cabrera, Pagan, and Blanco in the outfield. Arias and Crawford and Terrio and Huff and Cain and Posey are the batteries. So Joaquin Arias and Brandon Crawford getting the nod on the left side of the infield today.
Yeah, one thing about this defense, Dick, 51 errors, which leads all of Major League Baseball.
It's amazing, and you pointed it out, how you can be so shoddy in the field and still be in the position they're in, as Starlin Castro takes ball 1. But the Giants are hot. They've won 13 of their last 20 games, and in that span have scored 1 run more a game than they had before. 1-1 the count to Castro.
Well, look, this Giant ball club is going to be in ball games because of their starting pitching. And we talked to Bruce Bochy prior to the game, and I asked him, did he think the defense had room to get better? And he said he absolutely felt like they were going to improve.
The infield and outfield straight away for Castro, who's hitting .321 on the year. And Castro, who's 32 runs batted in, tied for second in the major leagues for middle infielders. Hanley Ramirez is the leader right there, and Castro 2 for 4 in last night's game, is sporting an 8-game hitting streak. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and the slider misses outside. So Bruce Bochy, who told us before the game, Eric, that he's very pleased with the energy that reminds him a lot of the 2010 year.
Yeah, and really with all the obstacles he's faced in this early part of the year, he is excited about where they're at, only 4 games back.
3-1 pitch fouled off, and so Cain goes to the full count on the first 2 hitters for the Cubs.
You know, and we talk about the Giants being only 4 back. They're chasing a team that has the best record in all of Major League Baseball. So again, I think this speaks volumes of the Giant ball club, and specifically of the job Bruce Bochy has done so far.
Payoff pitch coming up with De Jesus on deck for Chicago. And Cain strikes out Castro for out number 2.
Nothing real special about this pitch. You see Posey sets up outside. It gets a big part of the plate. See Cain, just a power pitcher right there. Castro just swings right through it.
So with 2 down, David DeJesus, the batter, hitting .287 with a homer and 10 runs batted in. And on the outside corner, strike one. One umpire change in positions. Corey Blazer is at first base and Mark Carlson is at second. The two switching. One ball and one strike to DeJesus. He's hit safely in 19 of the last 21 games. And his 9-game hitting streak came to an end last night. He came up as a pinch hitter and was retired in the 9th inning. 1-1 pitch and a foul ball down the right field line.
You know, DeJesus hitting third. He spent a lot of time this year atop the Cubs lineup. He's been very effective. On base percentage of close to .380. But this Cub ball club, they really don't have a true number 3 hitter. Castro's been there for a majority of the year. But we talked to Dale Swain prior to the game. Offensively, they just haven't been able to get anything going.
And they're trying to get more pop in the lineup. That's why Campana sat down and Mather was in at center field for a while. He's slowly hit to the right side, fielded by Hupp. Tough throw, and it's handled by Kane beautifully. Low throw, and Kane made a good play. 1-2-3 inning for Kane and the Giants. Cubs retired in order. The Giants coming up. Giants brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Gregor Blanco leading off. Ryan Terrio hitting second. Melky Cabrera batting third. And Buster Posey hitting cleanup. Angel Pagan batting in the 5th spot. Aubrey Huff getting an opportunity in the 6th position. Joaquin Arias hitting 7th. Brandon Crawford in the 8th spot. Matt Cain batting 9th, the pitcher. And Matt Garza 2-3. And the Cubs have lost in his last 4 starts.
Yeah, he's really struggled as of late. The first part of the year, he was dealing. Had a 1.75 ERA through his first 4 starts, but then just really struggled, especially his last 2. And one of his problems, giving up the home run ball. He's given up 5 in his last 2 starts. He's got to keep it in the park here, which shouldn't be that difficult to do. The 1 and 2, keep Blanco and Terrio off the bases, because you've got the hottest hitter in baseball hitting third for the Giants, Melky Cabrera.
And of course, when Bruce Bochy talked about the energy the team had, he mentioned Gregor Blanco in particular, who was a long shot to make the roster in spring training, but comes in leading the National League leadoff hitters with a .394 on base percentage, hitting .282 with a homer and 10 runs driven in. Joe Mather playing well in at third, looking for the possible bunt. And showing bunt and taking a strike is Blanco. Really good eye at the plate. Has 23 walks in only 117 plate appearances. Try to slap it the opposite way. It's out of play. And Garza is ahead of him, 2 strikes.
Well, Blanco, one of the really nice acquisitions by the San Francisco Giant ball club. You remember a few years ago in 2008, his rookie year, he drew a lot of walks, 74 walks. Looked like he was going to be one of those guys that would get on base all the time, but had some injuries, but seemed to have found himself.
And good pitch that jammed him, and Darwin Barney making the play for out number 1. And Blanco is retired. Here's a look at the Cubs defense, brought to you by Scott, Soriano, Campana, and De Jesus in the outfield. Mather, Castro, Barney, and LaHare in the infield. And Steve Clevenger just came off the DL this week, catching Matt Garza. And Dale Swain very pleased with his infield defense in the last several weeks.
Well, and you mentioned in the last several weeks, they've really tightened things up. You know, there's always been a question about Starlin Castro and his ability to focus out there, but he's only made 1 error in the last month, and that was on a relay throw.
Here's Terrio, who played his first 6 years in the majors with the Cubs, batting .234 with 4 runs batted in. He was 3 for 3 last night, his first 3-hit game of the season, including a double. So once again, Mather playing in at third. Big cut and a miss. And 2 strikes to count to Terrio with Cabrera on deck. There's Melky Cabrera. And you know he'll get a big reception when he comes to the plate for what he has done in the month of May, and kind of continued it in the first day of June last night. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Terrio. Just gets a piece of it.
Well, and you have to remember, too, and you're talking about Melky Cabrera, you see the milkmen right there. They're lobbying for the all-star vote. Now, this is a guy who came up with the Yankees, and there were a lot of expectations, kind of bounced around. But last year in Kansas City, he had over 200 hits.
In the dirt, and the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And you mentioned his experience with the Yankees, and always a tough spot when you're supposed to be the heir to somebody. Bernie Williams was going to be the guy that he was supposed to take over for. Remember, Bobby Mercer came in many years ago. They thought he was going to be a next star, maybe the next Mickey Mantle. You don't replace those guys. He gets jammed, and a fair ball backhanded by Mather. The throw, and it takes Brian LaHare off the bag, and Ryan Terrio is on base.
Well, Mather's a big man down there at third base. He gets over there nicely, just kind of slings it, though. Probably has a bit more time. See him getting low. He gets over there, but he just doesn't really plant, and then he needs to drive himself towards first base. He just throws flat-footed. Not a lot of accuracy there.
And as a result, an error charge to Mather, and here is Melky Cabrera. 51 hits in May, tied the most in a month by a Giant. Randy Winn back in '05. And the first pitch is ball 1. And what a brilliant month. Look at those numbers in May. And Giant fans are hoping he gets the honor of the National League Player of the Month. 1-0 with Terrio the base runner, and the pitch outside. 2 balls and no strikes. You say the milkmen, they're making their rounds.
Got to get you in one of those suits, Dick.
Oh, sure. As soon as the game is over, Eric, I'll jump right into one of them. 2 balls and no strikes with Terrio with the lead at first. Bluffs to go, and there's a bounding ball. Barney over to Castro and gets the force out, loses the handle. But Terrio is retired, and Cabrera is safe at first on a fielder's choice.
Well, Barney makes a nice play. Castro just trying to be quick.
over at second base. You see, he catches it, and this is on the transfer, no question about that. Got Cabrera hustling down from the left side. Castro just trying to be quick.
So 2 down, a runner at first, and Buster Posey coming in hitting .295 with 6 homers and 29 runs batted in. And takes a strike. Posey just so happy to be back and healthy after suffering that torn ankle ligament, broken fibula in that horrible collision against the Marlins last May. And the foul out of play. 0-2. And we want to welcome the viewers who are tuned in to the Yankees and the Tigers. There's a rain delay in that game, and so we all welcome you here to AT&T Park in San Francisco. And if you look at the field and you say, who are they? The Giants and Cubs wearing replica uniforms from 1912. Buster Posey is at the plate. And the count to him is 1-2 with 2 out and 1 man on. Bottom of the first inning, no score. So it's a turn back the century game. And all that goes with it as Posey takes the ball, and it's 2-2. They gave these starting lineups at a megaphone. We have a barbershop quartet here. And you see the emblem NY. Of course, they were known as the New York Giants back then. Lays off the breaking ball outside, and Garza goes full for the first time to a batter to Posey.
Well, Buster Posey, too. That's one of those throwback names that you, like a Scooter McGraw or a
Home Run Baker.
Home Run Baker. Yeah, I just made up Scooter McGraw, by the way. I don't know.
3 balls and 2 strikes. So Cabrera will be off on the pitch. 2 outs. There he goes. And a base hit to right field as Posey with a base hit, and Cabrera, who is running, will go over to third. Good bit of action at the plate for Buster Posey. Runners at the corners.
Well, this is really a nice pitch by Garza. It runs in on Posey's hands, really eats him up. But what he does is he keeps his hands, when I say inside the ball, doesn't come around it. You see how he pulls them in close to his body? The barrel drags through, and he's able to shoot it through that right side.
And the Milkmen are delighted as their man is on at third base. Buster Posey at first with 2 out, and here is Angel Pagan. And Angel Pagan was under the impression that he set the longest home hitting streak in Giants franchise history with a hit last night to pass Don Mueller with 25 hits in the last 25 home games, or at least consecutive games. But the researchers going back to the other century found out that Mike Donelon has the record of 26 consecutive games back in 05 and 06.
Well, still some work to do for Mr. Pagan.
Gets jammed and fouls it out of play. Pagan, a switch hitter, coming in hitting .315 with 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. Giants trying to push over a run here with 2 out in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and you know, you see Brian LaHare holding Buster Posey on. Buster Posey not going to run here. Maybe play right behind him. Give yourself a little range with that left-handed hitter up at the plate.
And the count now 1-2 to the switch hitting Pagan. The Giants, their problem has been in the power department. They have hit only 6 home runs here at home this year, which boggles the mind. And another breaking ball inside, and it's 2-2. And even Bruce Bochy said this is an alarming number of home runs for this team to have hit, and he wants more power.
Yeah, he'd like to have more power, but what he has, he's got speed. And that's something that this ball club, this organization, hasn't had a lot of over the past few years. And again, with all the things they've had to deal with, 4 games out, I think he'll take it.
Here's the 2-2 pitch fouled away. And of course, Pablo Sandoval is going to be playing tonight They expect him to return. Not ready yet with the hamate bone break as you take a look at the West standings. And the Giants coming in 4 games behind the Dodgers in the division. And another full count. So Sandoval will be playing tonight for their Class A San Jose Farm Club in Stockton. Dodgers are leading the Rockies 6-2, and the Rockies are batting in the bottom of the 9th inning. So the Dodgers trying to get that win under their belt. Time called at the plate. Pagan, talk about some of the significant acquisitions coming over from the Mets. They are the runners at the corners. Full count with 2 out. And there goes Posey, and Pagan strikes out, and that'll do it. As Garza pitches out of a first inning jam, the Giants lead 2. No score after 1. By the makers of Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of MLB. Giants winning the opening game of the series 4-3 last night. Madison Bumgarner had 11 strikeouts in a 6-hit shutout in the 9th inning, and then it got awfully tight. And they ended up winning 4-3. Alfonso Soriano hitting a 3-run homer. And then Javier Lopez got the final out with runners at second and third. Here is Soriano. And off the end of the bat, off the mound quickly is Kane. And he makes the play, and Soriano's retired for the first out. Here are today's Ford keys to the game.
Well, real simple for the Cubs. Put it in play. Make the Giants catch the ball. A major league leading 51 errors. Now look at the Giants. For them to win, play catch. Catch the darn ball. It's a very simple game, especially with the type of pitching that they have. Don't give away outs.
Here's Brian LaHare, Cup first baseman, hitting .313, 10 homers and 22 runs batted in. It's most homers by any National League first baseman. And he takes ball 1. He had a pinch hit double last night. He'll be followed by Steve Clevenger and Darwin Barney here in the second. Ground ball. And it's Crawford. Can't recover. He slid going to his right for the ball, and it landed under his body. Could not make the play, and LaHare is on at first base. Sharply hit to the left side of the infield.
Yeah, nice job by Crawford getting there, but it almost looks like he dives over the ball. I mean, you see it hits on the thumb part of his glove.
It's exactly what happens, and actually got away from him. So LaHare is on with a base hit. First hit of the game for the Cubs, and here is Steve Clevenger. And takes a strike. Clevenger came off the DL Tuesday, was out with a strained oblique, and went 2 for 4. Bounced into a pair of double plays last night. 1 out, and LaHare, Cub base runner at first. One and one to Brian LaHare. Back in 08, played briefly for the Seattle Mariners, but was in the minor leagues 09 and 10. Pacific Coast League with Iowa. There goes the runner, and the pitch is lined out to third, and an easy double play. Clevenger lines out. LaHare was off, and an inning-ending double play. 5-3, and in the middle of the second inning, no score. Weiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And Matt Garza will be facing Aubrey Huff, Joaquin Arias, and Brandon Crawford, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Giants in the bottom of the second inning. Aubrey Huff getting an opportunity here. This is his 51st at-bat of the year. He's hitting 160 with a homer and 4 runs batted in. Bruce Bochy saying get him some at-bats, and also the fact that he's come to the plate 18 times against Matt Garza, more than any other of the Giants in the lineup today. Breaking ball, strike one.
Well, this was a guy that was so key in 2010, arguably the first 4 months of that season. He was the MVP of the National League.
To the right side, Barney makes the play, and there's one away. Right now, let's go to Greg Amsinger for a DirecTV game break.
Well, Dick, I'll tell you, Joey Votto loves swinging the bat in Houston. His career average over 400. This is 9th home run of the year, but Jed Lowry answered with a 2-run shot. The bottom half of the first, it's 3-2 at the moment. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Dick, Eric, back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And Joaquin Arias, there's the story in the National League Central. Look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tied with the Cardinals, 3 behind the Reds. Arias showing bunt, takes a strike as Mather charges from third. Arias hitting .234 with 1 home run, 10 runs batted in. Came up from Fresno in late April and has started 29 games since then. Right at the shortstop, Starlin Castro, and there are 2 down. Next Saturday on Baseball Night in America, interleague play returns as the Indians head to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. Both teams look to keep pace near the top of their divisions. Or the Dodgers head to Seattle to battle the Mariners. Or the Mets, Yankees, Rays and Marlins, Royals and Pirates. Baseball Night in America, telecast presented by Budweiser, begins next Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, only on Fox. Check your local listings for the game and start time in your area. Brandon Crawford, the number 8 hitter, and again Mather well in at third, and the fastball is up, ball 1.
Well, Matt Cain last inning, 6-pitch inning. Right now, Matt Garza, 5 pitches so far. Brandon Crawford's job here, see some pitches, try and get Matt Cain, the pitcher, to the plate.
A bunt and offered at it for a strike, 1-1. Garza trying to turn things around on the road, and the Cubs as a team have had their big problems on the road. Garza 1-3 with a 6.84 earned run average, and the Cubs as a team 6 wins, 18 losses. They have dropped their last 8 away from Wrigley Field.
Well, look, the reality is they've had trouble on the road and at home. It hasn't been what they expected. Now, did they expect to compete for a playoff spot? No, but I think they hope to be more competitive than what they've been.
Lost 12 in a row, 2 away from their franchise record of 14, and that one hits Crawford in the foot, and a 2-out base runner for the Giants.
Well, this is the last thing that Matt Garza wants to do right here, and you see this ball just running in, hits Brandon Crawford on the left foot, his back foot. See, it bounces and then hits him. Now, even if the ball bounces and it hits the hitter, that counts as a hit by pitch. Just as if you swung at it and hit the ball, all is good.
So now they've got to face Matt Cain, and Cain 4 for 24 this year, has a pair of doubles. And Crawford on at first with 2 out, and ball 1. That was the 3rd hit batsman for Matt Garza this year. Dodgers beat Colorado 6-2, their win over the Rockies. So the Giants would need a win today over the Cubs to maintain a 4-game deficit to the Dodgers.
Well, and that snaps a 5-game losing streak by the Los Angeles Dodgers. Milwaukee came in, took 4, and then of course yesterday Colorado put a whooping on them. But again, still the best record in all of Major League Baseball.
And the Rockies ended a 4-game losing streak in their own right. Foul ball out of play to the right, and the Oakland A's today ended a 9-game losing streak for them with a victory. A's beating the Kansas City Royals. Pitches down low. 2-2 to Matt Cain with 2 outs. Crawford the base runner at first. and missed again. Garza wanted that one. On deck, the top of the order, Gregor Blanco. Full count to Matt Cain, and Crawford will be off on the pitch. Here's the 3-2 pitch, slider, and Cain goes down. One man left, and we go to the third here in San Francisco on a gorgeous late afternoon. Box as the Cubs coming up in the third inning, and Wednesday against the Padres in Chicago. Score tied 6-6, bottom of the ninth. Darwin Barney, a walk-off two-run home run to give the Cubs the win 8-6. It was the first walk-off homer for Barney at any level. Even in the Little League, he didn't have a walk-off home run. And that stretched the Cubs' winning streak to 3 games after their 12-game losing streak, but they dropped last night's series opener to the Giants 4-3. There's a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Darwin Barney, hitting .285, 3 homers and 15 runs batted in. Cubs are rebuilding, there's no question about that. And there are certain players that you know are going to be around, like Castro, possibly Barney, and a couple of players coming up from AAA.
Well, I think that's the interesting thing when you talk about this Cubs ball club. You look at 3 years down the road, who out there right now is going to be a part of the quote-unquote future? I mean, I think you can say Castro is at least in the plans and is probably a fixture. But who else position-wise?
Blanco makes the catch, and there's one away. And right now, let's go to Greg Amsinger for a DirecTV game break.
Dick, thanks. It's a home run derby in Houston. Drew Stubbs connects. That is the Reds' 3rd home run of the game. His 7th of the year. Wandy Rodriguez has gotten 4 outs and given up 3 home runs. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Dick, Eric, back to you guys in San Francisco.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And here's Joe Mather, batting 8th, hitting .259, 3 homers and 8 runs batted in, 1 out here in the 3rd inning, and an off-speed breaking ball up high. You know, I was getting a little worried, Eric. We had a 19-12 feel to the game. That was the first ball hit in the air in this game. And talk about the dead ball era, maybe. Garza, the pitcher, is on deck, and a breaking ball for a strike, 1-1.
Well, you know, Dick, you got Joe Mather. You mentioned he's hitting 8th right now, and just kind of a reflection of this Cubs offense. He was hitting 3rd a few games ago. You know, they just don't know what to do because it's like a puzzle, and they're trying to fit pieces, and it's almost like they're trying to force pieces into spots.
Mather flies out to Cabrera, and there are 2 down quickly for Matt Cain. So here's what we have in the Turn Back the Century game. The roving barbershop quartet, heard some of that. No video, and wearing the 1912 garb, and all announcements are done with a megaphone. They could have used a megaphone up
You
here.
know what I was looking at? It said peanuts for 5 cents. How about some ice cream or something for 5 cents or something?
Hot dogs.
Hot dog. I think a hot dog for 5.
There's the megaphone, and
they actually have some great
Blues. Starting lineups for the Chicago Cubs. 0-1 pitch to Garza is a strike, and the count 0-2.
Hey, you told me you don't do props. You lied.
No, I don't wear props.
Oh, okay.
I don't wear them, but I'll use them. And Matt Garza strikes out. That's the 2nd strikeout of the game for Cain. He has faced 9 batters, given up 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Night in America, presented by Budweiser. And a scoreless game headed to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And we are pleased to have with us from the Cubs dugout, Jeff Samardzija, who is 5-3 on the year, beat the Padres on Tuesday, to chat with us during this half inning. Jeff, thanks for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys. How you guys doing?
Well, you're making the transition from the bullpen to the rotation after 4 years there. Tell us what has been the biggest adjustment you had to make.
You know, it's definitely been just getting late in those games. You know, you start seeing that lineup 3-4 times. You know, you gotta mix it up and stay on your toes. Remember how you threw them earlier in the game, and you know it's a little different than the bullpen when you come in and just see how hard you can throw it. So just you know, it's getting to learn these hitters and learn how to save your pitches early in the game and so you can pitch deep into the game.
And what's more fun, reliever or starter? Honestly, I mean,
starting, no doubt, absolutely. Getting to hit. As a pitcher is awesome.
Getting to hit.
Absolutely.
Getting to hit. Come
Absolutely.
on. What do you know about hitting?
Not much, but I know that I'm not expected to do much either. So.
Gregor Blanco leading off in the bottom of the 3rd inning against Matt Garza. Bounce to Barney at second base his first time up. Drive to right field. De Jesus right there, battling the sun, makes the catch for out number 1.
Jeff, it hasn't been a smooth run, at least in this early part of the year. But what is it about this ball club or some of the guys that you feel like, you know what, we're heading in the right direction?
You know, you got to go back and look at the low points. You know, you look at we going on a 12-game losing streak, and you expect you know, things to be flying around the dugout, you know, guys to be down, and you know, true colors come out during something like that. And I'll tell you what, the way we approached it, obviously no one wants to lose. No one definitely wants to lose 12 in a row. But we came with our business. We did what we had to do, and you know, coming in our home series, that last series, and get 3 wins was huge, and shows a lot of character. You know, we're out here battling every day. We're working hard, and we're definitely going the right direction, especially with the guys we got on this team. You know, even some of the older guys like Dempster and Soriano, you know, they're showing these younger guys how to play, and yeah, we definitely feel like we're going the right direction, and we're just going to battle every game. It's a new day every day, and see what we can do in this long road trip for one, and then when we get back home, see if we can string some more wins together for sure.
1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Ryan Theriot, who reached on an error by Joe Mather in the first inning. Who's been the biggest influence to you on this Cub team of the veterans?
Obviously, I've been working out with Dempster in the offseason for the past few years. You know, being a righty that's pitched in this league for a long time, he's a great reference to have. You know, I've had guys over the years like Ted Lilly to work with. You know, not to mention a couple great catchers we've had along the way. I got that Henry Blanco caught me early in 08, and you know, just guys like that, those veteran dudes that have been around, they know what they're doing, and you trust them. You know, you go to them in times when you need some help, and you know, you lean on those guys for sure.
All right, so you fancy yourself as a hitter. No, I'm saying,
got 2 RBIs.
I'm going to say, how would you approach facing you?
Facing me?
Yeah, what would you do? How would you get in the box against you?
Well, I'm assuming I'm going to throw some fastballs, so I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to ask some other hitters on their scouting report on me, but you know, I'd probably see a couple pitches early and see how it's coming out, and if the heater's in good location, then I'm probably just going to choke up a little bit and try and put it in play.
Theriot lines out to Darwin Barney on a scalded ball, and that brings up Melky Cabrera, reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning and was stranded at third. Giants at first and third, and Garza struck out Pagan to end that threat. Buster Posey would be next. 2 out, and the bases are empty.
So, Jeff, against a guy like a Cabrera right now that just seems to be hitting everything in sight, how as a pitcher do you go after somebody like that?
Well, a guy like Melky right now who's really stroking it, you gotta go at him early. You don't want to get behind in the count and you know, either have to risk throwing an off speed 2-0 or something like that. You know, if he's aggressive early and he puts it in play, sometimes you got to tip your cap to a guy that's hot. So you definitely don't want to mess around and get him in a situation where he can really open up and try and drive the ball in the gap. So you know, he's hot, like I said, so you got to make your pitches and mix it up for sure.
2 balls and no strikes to Cabrera. And the count 3-0, and it's got to be exciting for you because you know there's going to be reinforcements, and there's a definite future with Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer aboard for what, you know, you're a young guy and you're going to experience all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, in you know, a few years we're going to look back on this, and you know, like I said, with that losing streak, and you know, you're going to learn from it and remember what it felt like when that was happening, and each win feels a whole lot better when you struggle a little bit. So sometimes you gotta find out where you're at against everybody to know where you need to go in the future. So with those guys running it, we feel great. We're confident that they're making the right moves, and we can just go out every day and do our job and play baseball.
Jeff, you look good in that uniform. Thanks for joining us.
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, that's a fair ball, and it's gloved by LaHare, and he gets it over to Garza, and a 1-2-3 inning for Matt Garza. So we've completed 3. No score between the Cubs and the Giants. Budweiser is sponsored by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. Late afternoon in San Francisco on a cool evening, and the wind now blowing out to right field. And Matt Cain will face the top of the order for the Cubs in the fourth. Tony Campana, Starlin Castro, and David DeJesus. You never get a bad picture in this city, do you?
No, it really is picturesque, and it's one of the best venues to come watch a game as a fan.
Campana running up and taking ball one, comes into the game second in the National League with 16 stolen bases. And there you see the sellout crowd, 111th straight sellout. There's the bunt, tough play. Arias throws on a hop, safe. Looked like he did everything he could, and a very close play at first base. And a good play made by Huff, digging it out, but first base umpire Corey Blazers rules Campana safe.
Well, in real time before I'm seeing it, I thought he was out. So let's see. I'm going to be on the umpire. I'm going to call it like the umpire did. Yeah, see, out by a foot. And see, as a first baseman, that is frustrating as heck because it doesn't look smooth over at first base. It's kind of awkward. You're picking it. And whenever that happens, the umpire has a difficult call to make. And Aubrey Huff knows that he's got him. And he just walks away. Look at that. Look at that. That's a whole foot. That's more than a foot. Now I'm getting worked up as a former first baseman, Dick.
Well, you know, there was another broadcaster, I guess, this week in the Chicago area that got a little worked up over an umpire's call.
Hey, I'm not saying that's a difficult call to make over there because, like I said, it's not just the normal throw over there. There's a lot of moving parts, but clearly out right there.
Second hit, diving back and getting back is Campana, and a threat to run. Matt Cain has allowed 2 hits now, and both have been of the infield variety. Castro, the batter, struck out his first time up.
Well, and see, the problem with that is this isn't just some runner down at first base. You know, this is Tony Campana, 16 stolen bases. You know, Buster Posey not having a great year of throwing the runner out. And you see, gets that right hand just in, and see where he goes, Dick. He goes to the back part of the bag. That's the furthest area away from the first baseman and making the tag. And all you young base runners, that's where you want to go when you're taking that lead.
And the runner is off. The pitch taken for a strike. The throw to second. They got him. Right on the money, Buster Posey, as he throws out the speedy Tony Campana. Terrio putting on the tag.
Well, Buster Posey is going to get all the credit, and as well he should. That was a great throw. But the fact that Matt Cain had thrown over a number of times prior to that had kept Campana close to the base. He couldn't get a big lead. He had to dive back into first. That's a great job by Matt Cain.
And the 0-1 pitch to Castro gets a fastball and fouls it back. So Tony Campana thrown out for only the 3rd time this year. And there's one away. And the count is 0-2 to Castro. One ball and 2 strikes to Starlin Castro. Talked about Melky Cabrera with his 80 hits leading the league, and Castro coming in second in the National League with 67 hits. Straight away, all the way around for the Giant defense. Chicago White Sox coming in today with a 1.5 game lead over the Cleveland Indians, taking on the Seattle Mariners. And the pitch breaks outside, and it's 2-2 to Castro. And you figure Castro is going to be one of the foundations for the Cubs.
Well, I don't know. I think he's going to be there. I don't think he's going to be the third or fourth place hitter. I think they're going to have to get some guys where Castro is a complementary player.
And he's out. And the appeal to Corey Blazer. And Castro went around and struck out. That is the third strikeout. Right now, let's go to Greg Amsinger at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Yeah, Dick, you were mentioning this game, a marathon. In the top of the 12th, John Jaso delivers. He's going to score Kawasaki. The 9-game winning streak for the White Sox on the line. It's 10-8 Mariners now. And Dick, Eric, 8 total home runs have been hit in this game.
Going long ball. And in Chicago, and a pop foul by David DeJesus is out of play, and the count 1 strike to him.
You talk about that White Sox ball club and what a job Robin Ventura has done. The likes of Adam Dunn, Paul Konerko, that pitching staff has been great. I think they've surprised a lot of people in baseball.
Robin Ventura in his first year as manager of the White Sox. 0-1 to DeJesus, and there's a fly ball hit deep to right center field, way back, and this one is out of here. David DeJesus with his second home run of the year, and over 400 feet. That's quite a blast into the bleachers in right center field, and the Cubs have taken a 1-0 lead on a 2-out home run by David DeJesus.
Yeah, this was not even, there was nothing in doubt here. Angel Pagan, the center fielder for the Giants, he just sat there and basically took 2 or 3 steps. You see DeJesus stay behind the ball. What I mean by that, his body stays behind the bat when he makes contact, and that's where a hitter is at his strongest. That ball was crushed, Dick. Absolutely crushed.
Here's Soriano, who was out pitcher to first. He takes a breaking ball for strike 1. So only the second home run for DeJesus. One ball and 1 strike to count. DeJesus, who was born in Brooklyn, raised in New Jersey, and played his college ball at Rutgers. And there's a drive hit to right center field. This one too is way back, and this one will be off the wall. Retrieved by Blanco, and Soriano will stop at second with a double. So Matt Cain getting hit hard here in the 4th inning. And the Cubs have a runner in scoring position with LaHair coming up.
Well, Soriano, he hits it out to what they call here, it triples alley. Gets a double, though, out of it. He thinks he got it. He's got a little bat flip, too, when he hits it. Then cruises into second base. This ball is hit a mile. Watch it hit and bounce off the wall. There it is. Not often you hit a double in triples alley.
That mean you have to stop if you have a chance for an inside the park home run?
I tell you, if I was playing, it'd be a lot of doubles, maybe singles. Wouldn't be many triples.
LaHair reached on an infield hit, and he takes a strike. 0-1. So Matt Cain, after facing the minimum 9 batters and giving up just an infield hit until the 4th, Campana beat out a bunt single on a questionable call at first, and then was thrown out attempting to steal. And it might have been a lot worse for the Giants. There's a strike to LaHair, and it's 0-2. And after Castro struck out, DeJesus with a booming home run into the right field bleachers, and then Soriano follows with a double. One and 2 now. Tenth year in the big leagues for DeJesus. He was with the A's last year, and he hit 10 home runs for them. A look at Soriano. And LaHare strikes out. 2 strikeouts this inning. But David DeJesus with the home run. 3 hits for the Cubs. They take a 1-0 lead into the bottom of the 4th. Cubs on the strength of a DeJesus homer leads. And what has Buster Posey meant to the Giants coming back from that terrible injury last year? The highest career OPS since 1892. That's on base plus slugging percentage. You got to go back to Buck Ewing. Can you go back to Buck Ewing?
Do you think Buck Ewing knew what OPS was?
I think 15 years ago they didn't know what OPS was. But here's Buster Posey. Single to right field his first time up. Took an inside pitch and went the opposite way against Matt Garza, who now has thrown 51 pitches, but he's come down the ladder. He had 25 pitches in the first inning, 14 in the second, 11 in the third. There are the others, the highest OPS for Giant catchers. 2-0 the count to Posey. He'll be followed by Angel Pagan and Aubrey Huff. Misses inside, and the first 3-0 count for Matt Garza today. Second time Posey has faced Garza with Angel Pagan, the switch hitter, waiting to come up. 3-1. Here's the 3-1. Full count after falling behind 3-0.
Well, you see there on that swing, Buster Posey going right after it, 3-1, looking to drive something into the seats there. See him load up right there. It just doesn't get the bat head out enough. That just shows you what kind of velocity Garza has today.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Posey off the handle, and there's Castro spinning around and throwing out Posey for out number 1. Well, tomorrow Fox Sports proud to bring you exclusive coverage of Sprint Cup Series racing from the Dover International Speedway. Defending champion Matt Kenseth leads the world's best drivers onto the Monster Mile in a chase for the checkered flag. Coverage of the FedEx 400 benefiting autism begins tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific on Fox. Angel Pagan struck out his first time up. Mather is in at third, and there's the bunt in the air, and Mather makes the catch. So Pagan, with the bunt attempt, despite the fact that Mather was in, pops out to the third baseman on the bunt, and there are 2 down. Aubrey Huff coming up now.
We see Mather, we mentioned, a big man. He's coming in there very agile. Now, Pagan obviously doesn't want to have this thing go in the air. He's trying to just deaden it and get it on the ground, force Mather to come in and make a throw. So he gets the bat head just below the ball. Mather makes a nice catch.
And the first pitch, breaking ball, a strike. And Garza, who has struggled on the road, and especially in his last 2 starts, has looked pretty good thus far against the Giants, and a slim 1-0 lead here. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a line drive, left field, foul ball.
Well, and Garza going to be one of those pieces that, as we get closer and closer to the trade deadline, will be very attractive to a lot of teams that are in this race. You know, you're talking about Garza, you're talking about Dempster, you know, De Jesus could be a guy, and really anybody on this Cub ball club outside of maybe Castro and Samardzija.
You know, Soriano showing, you know, some power.
That's a lot of money, though, coming with that power, though, and that's the problem. I mean, you're talking about $45 million left, and you know, while he's swinging the bat good, the Cubs are going to have to eat a lot of that if they expect to be able to pedal him.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Aubrey Huff, and of course Monday's a big day in the big leagues because it's the beginning of the draft. And the Cubs have the 6th pick in the draft. And you know that Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer have been working diligently because that's going to be an important draft, and you need a series of them. Huff strikes out, 1-2-3 inning for Garza. We've completed 4, 1-0. And welcome back to San Francisco, and we move to the top of the 5th. Steve Clevenger, the Cubs catcher, takes a breaking ball for a strike. Lined out into a double play, his first time up. And the count is 1-1 strike. Matt Cain, on the short end of a 1-0 game, gave up 3 hits, including a home run to David DeJesus last inning, which accounted for the only run of the game. And we want to welcome Michael Milken, and what a great job you have done, Michael, for the Prostate Cancer Foundation, the Home Run Challenge. You're with us again in full uniform. Glad to see you.
That is true. 17th season.
Wow. Center fielder Pagan is back, 1 out.
And it's an honor to be with both of you here and to continue our home run challenge and awareness of getting tested for prostate cancer. And Dick, it's an honor to be with the greatest player in history in the home run challenge, Mr. Karros here.
Yeah, and you know what? We even went deep into our vault for proof of that, and we are going to show that in a little bit, but we want to tease the fans. But Eric Karros is the all-time leader in Michael Milken's home run challenge, and the count 1-0.
Well, that effort for the country, 1 out of every 2 games he played, you know, over a 7-year period of time, just an amazing record.
And tell us about the progress you have made in this tremendous fight.
Well, the death rate from prostate cancer has dropped by more than 50%, and we're hoping in the next 4 to 5 years that prostate cancer, like other cancers, will become a chronic disease. And you can go to PCF.org. You can learn a lot about nutrition and what's going on in that area. And the awareness period of leading up to Father's Day, June turns out to be the month that the most number of men get checked for prostate cancer. So the program with Major League Baseball, Fox, the Giants, the Cubs, has really done what we hoped it would do, is keep Dad in the game.
Well, talk about it. 17 years now, the program. What kind of funds have you raised?
We've raised $100 million between programs with home runs hit about 40 and 60 at Safeway supermarkets during the month of June.
There's a drive to center field, and Pagan throws out Barney for out number 2. And right now, let's go back in history. June 7th. Remember, it ends on June 17th, and here he is. Eric Karros into the stands and comes out for a bow at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, that was wearing a Cubs uniform, and I have to tell you, Michael would talk to Dusty Baker prior to the game, our manager, and said, look, you got to get Karros in that game. I mean, just for none other to raise some more money and awareness.
It was an unbelievable, and Clemens did not get his 300th because of that home run.
That's right. Joe Mather, the batter, and he swings and misses with 2 out. And it's a great thing, Michael, to team up with baseball. What a better, you know, the summertime. You talk about Father's Day, baseball. It's a relaxed thing for this tremendous effort you put on.
Find another environment where you can go to a game, talk to your father, remind him to get tested, your friend, your grandfather, your uncle, your brother, and have a chance in the great outdoors. And the great American pastime has really served it well. This is the #1 awareness program that really exists for prostate cancer in the world, and both of you have been a big part of it. Obviously, Eric's home runs have allowed us to raise over $1 million just on his own home runs. He's $1 million man. But it's just been a tremendous opportunity here, and the research, 92% of all men diagnosed with prostate cancer now live 5 years or longer.
That's fantastic. And there is the phone number to call, or you can visit www.pcf.org. And great to have you with us. It must be a lot of fun for you to come.
It is to see every ballpark, but we also have some special jerseys here today. You know, we have this jersey for Mr. Karros. Right now, Eric, your official home run challenge jersey.
That's it. Wow.
That we have got, and let me just see how it fits.
Oh, it'll fit well here.
Over that suit. that magnificent suit.
There we go.
Wow, very nice.
And,
Now I'm going.
And Mr. Stockton, we've got your home run jersey.
Thank you. And I will wear it proudly. And as we wear it proudly, we thank Michael Milken for joining us. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
1, 2, 3 innings.
Great effort.
It's a great cause. Sponsored by Chevrolet, proud to support youth baseball in cities and towns across the country. John McGraw, Christy Mathewson, some of the great old-time New York Giants, and what a terrific day it's been in turn back the century to 1912, and the uniforms being worn of that vintage. And we have a pitcher's duel going as the Giants batting in the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be the bottom 3rd of their order against Matt Garza, who has given up 1 hit, struck out 3, and hasn't walked anyone. Joaquin Arias, who grounded to short his first time up, looks to bunt, bunts it in the air down the first base line, and Garza trying to get over there, couldn't get it. So what was it like back in 1912? Eric, you were just breaking in. That's bad.
That's bad.
That is bad.
The 47th, you don't have to confirm it. The 47th and 48th states were admitted. The Titanic sank on April the 14th. Wrigley Field didn't open yet, but Tiger Stadium and Fenway Park were open. And an 8-game World Series, 4 games to 3 and 1 tie. And Christy Mathewson won his 300th game, and you just saw his plaque out here. 0-1 to Arias. Grounded sharply to Barney. And Arias is retired. He's grounded out twice. And there's 1 away to Brandon Crawford. Well, here are the final standings of the 1912 National League. Well, you've seen those teams before. You know, the Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee and then to Atlanta. And the Brooklyn Superbus, before they were named the Dodgers. That was the Trolley Dodgers, I believe, which is why they were named
the Dodgers. And
do you know why they were named the Superbas, though? I mean,
they were superb.
They lost 95 games there, Dick.
Brandon Crawford. Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. That's what I say. Oh, 1-0 the count to Crawford, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. There's a fastball. 1-1 the count to the Giants shortstop. There's a breaking ball. And that is the 67th pitch thrown by Garza. Matt Cain is on deck. Brandon Crawford, the batter, Bay Area bred from Foothill High in Pleasanton, and the two-time MVP at UCLA of all places. Pop fly into left center field, drops for a hit. It's bobbled by Campana. The throw to second, that's off the mark, and no advance there. So a pop fly to left center field drops, and Brandon Crawford winds up at second with one out, the tying run in scoring position.
Well, he doesn't hit this all well, gets in on him a little bit, but finds the right spot, hustling all the way. Now the problem is here, Soriano's got to get that ball. He's moving towards second base. Campana's running away from second base, plus he's a left-handed thrower. So he'd have to get it, turn, and throw. Soriano has to call that ball. I got it, I got it, I got it. See how he's running towards second base. Campana running away.
And they rule it a double, Eric. And here's Matt Cain swinging away. First he was showing a bunt, and then took the hefty cut. And the count is 0-1, trying to cross up the Cubs here.
Well, he's got the corners in right there, and all he's trying to do is shoot it past either the third baseman or first baseman. Again, you see LaHare and Mather both coming in for the bunt.
And a call strike from Garza, and he is ahead of Cain, 2 strikes. Matt Cain struck out his first time up. Garza had retired 8 straight Giants before Brandon Crawford's seeing eye double in left center field. And Cain strikes out for out number 2. And right now, let's go to Greg Amsinger at the MLB Network studios for a game break.
Yeah, Dick, the Chicago White Sox 9-game winning streak is over, having done grounds into the shift. Final score 10-8 Seattle. Dick, Eric, while you're enjoying a pitcher's duel at the moment, this was not. 16 total pitchers were used. Back to you.
Wow, 16 pitch. That's a long baseball game right there. And I'll tell you, I hate to be the bullpen catcher for either one of those ball clubs.
No one ever mentions the bullpen catcher. You did. Here's Gregor Blanco. Tying run is at second now with 2 out, and the first pitch is a strike. Blanco 0 for 2. Grounded to second and fly to right. So a chance for Blanco. Limited by wrist surgery last year and has been a crucial leadoff hitter. There's a foul ball, and Blanco might have broken his bat on that swing.
There it is, one Tommy Lasorda up here traveling with Michael Milken and an effort to create more awareness for the Prostate Cancer Foundation. Tommy, a baseball ambassador.
And what a great personality he has been. And, you know, having played with the Dodgers, such a big factor in that franchise's personality.
Yeah, I mean, really, when you think about that organization, you think 2 people come to mind. One, Tommy Lasorda, the other, Vin Scully. And you can think what you want of him as a Giant fan, but what he's done for the game of baseball has been insurmountable.
1-2 to Blanco. So the Giants with the 2 hits, and their biggest threat was in the first inning when they had runners at first and third, and Angel Pagan struck out, They had a man at second with one out, but Garza strikes out Kane and Blanco and leaves the runner at second. We've completed 5 here in San Francisco, and it's 1-0 Cubs. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV and buy Jeep. Boy, is it fun to come to this ballpark as the Giants, with the 3rd longest consecutive sellout string after the Red Sox and the Phillies, and Matt Cain facing Matt Garza, who takes a strike. Garza struck out his first time up. Matt Cain, by the way, looking to square his career record at 75 and 75 with a win today, despite the fact that his ERA has been pretty impressive during that span of 3.33.
Yeah, well, for many years just did not get any type of run support. Again, just signed to a long-term deal by the Giants. And really done a nice job today. But on the flip side, we talk about what he's done. The man at the plate right now, Matt Garza, he's been great today. A lot of movement on the fastball. Great location for the breaking pitches. This is how he threw the first part of the year.
And the count 1-2 strikes. And we mentioned the draft coming up, where the Cubs will have 3 of the top 56 picks, and they have some supplemental picks because of Aramis Ramirez and Carlos Pena, losing those 2. So this is going to be a very important first start for the Cubs.
Well, it is, but if you're a fan of the Cubs and the organization, all you're hearing about in June is wait till the amateur draft. We got a big draft on Monday. I mean, you're thinking, really? We're talking about kids that were drafted. I mean, that's 3, 4, 5 years away, and that gets frustrating sometimes.
Here is today's game summary, brought to you by Jeep, and a pitcher's duel it is. Matt Garza, 2 hits and no runs in 5 1/3 or 5 innings, and Matt Cain, and he's done well as well. And Tony Campana, who bounced out to Aubrey Huff at first base and was safe on a bunt to third, in which it appeared that Campana was out at first. And that was the inning after he was thrown out attempting a steal. That De Jesus homered with 2 out. And that has been the scoring in this game. 1-0 the Cubs. 1-1. And slapping it to the left side, off balance, no chance for Crawford, and Campana has his second infield hit. The first was a bunt, a 1-out single, and that's the 5th hit of the game for the Cubs.
Well, and see, there's not anything you can do about that defensively. And Campana from the left side, he shoots it over there into that 5-6 hole. But as a left-handed hitter, he's already got a running start down to first base. Not anything you can do, but credit to Campana. He knows his ability and knows what he needs to do. He's not trying to hit a home run.
Starlin Castro. And diving back is Campana. Campana, who second in the league with 16 stolen bases, thrown out attempting a steal in the 4th. And let's see what he has in mind again. And Matt Cain, you pointed it out before, Eric, throwing over many times to first, and finally Posey threw him out trying to steal. Big lead for Campana. Does not go, and a good pitch by Cain jams him. Pop up, Terrio calling for it, makes the play in short right field, and there are 2 down in the 6th inning. Well, the question is, National League outfielders, who will start in the All-Star game at Kansas City with some of the contenders?
Well, you have some guys having some great years, and there'll be some voted in, there'll be some selected by the manager, the fans. But really, you can't go wrong with any one of those guys right now.
Well, we want to know what you think tonight in our Twitter poll question as David DeJesus comes to the plate. Should Melky Cabrera be considered as a National League starting outfielder in the 2012 All-Star game? As DeJesus shows bunt and takes a strike 0-1. DeJesus with the home run to account for the only run of the game. So tweet your answer to @MLB on Fox using hashtag Melky yes or hashtag Melky no. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Starting center fielder, I don't know if I can go with the starting center fielder. Like we mentioned, there's so many guys having great years. And that's not to say that he shouldn't be a part of that All-Star team with the way he's played up to now. And we talked at the top of the show, manager Bruce Bochy likening him and his play right now to Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn.
(0-2). Cain is ahead of DeJesus. Campana with the lead at first, and 2 away. Pitch out, and Campana wasn't going. So the only run of the game in the 4th inning, this booming home run by David DeJesus.
And not known as a home run hitter, only his 2nd one, but there was no question about it at all. Hitting 3rd today. I think in this situation, you've got to send Campana. He's got to run.
He does. And the pitch is outside. The throw to second. Safe. So Campana, with his 17th stolen base of the year, gets into scoring position. And the pitch taken for a ball. It's 2-2 to DeJesus.
Well, he gets a good jump. This throw high, forcing Crawford to catch it and then try to bring down the tag. Campana in there easily.
Next pitch will be the 79th of the game for Matt Cain. Campana on his 2nd time is called. Cubs had won 3 in a row, their longest winning streak of the season, after dropping 12 straight and trying to even the series at 1 game apiece.
Well, and those 3 games were at home against the San Diego Padres, who, you know, if you think the Cubs are having a rough season,
right,
just look up at the Padres stats and you feel real good about the Cubs.
There's the runner at 2nd. Cubs in a long road stretch right now. Here's the 3-2 pitch from Matt Cain. Ball 4. And DeJesus draws a walk. And that is the first walk of the game by Kane. Well, this July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball's greatest stars battle for a home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game, Tuesday, July 10th at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox.
And that's huge. I mean, I was at the World Series last year, Game 6 and 7 being played in St. Louis. The fans, a huge part of that comeback in Game 6. You know, as much as fans can be. And I'll tell you, that's why it's kind of a joke, but it's not. That All-Star game means an awful lot. That home field advantage into the postseason, the World Series, is huge.
Here's Alfonso Soriano. Well, there's no question it's been a different approach to it because of this. Soriano doubled his last time up, and there goes the runners. Safe at third, a double steal. A double steal as Campana goes to third and DeJesus to second. The throw to third, not in time.
And you see Campana feels like he's got a good jump. That's an awfully close play when you're stealing at third. You see he gets in there, but that's one of those things you have to be 100%. When you've got 2 outs and you're running like that.
Bonifacio of the Marlins leading the National League. The count 1-0 to Soriano. Slider is outside. And the count is 2-0. So a chance for Alfonso Soriano, who did not hit a home run in the first 30 games, has 8 in the last 16, and no one has done better than that, including that 3-run shot last night. But a single here would give possibly the Cubs a lot more breathing room, and another breaking ball away, and now 3-0.
Well, and you can see right now, Dick, that the shadows have started to take over this ball field. And what that does, very difficult for the hitter to pick up spin on the ball. That's why when I was out there playing first base, I'd always want our guys to throw breaking balls when you had the shadows.
3-1 now to Soriano. 36 years old in his 14th big league year, and the 6th with the Cubs. And of course, several of those years was the leadoff hitter for Chicago. 3-1, runners at second and third, 2 down here in the 6th. Matt Cain shooting for his 5th straight win on the short end right now, and fouled it off, and the count is full. Dodgers won, beat the Rockies, and the Giants, who have made up some ground on the Dodgers since Sunday. They were down by 7.5 games. Now it's 4. And that's the closest they've been since May the 8th when the Giants beat the Dodgers. So 3-2, 2 out. Cain facing Soriano. Fouls it away.
And you saw he goes with the 3-2 breaking ball in that situation. Got first base open. We mentioned the shadows where it's difficult for the hitter to pick up the spin. Really not a lot of reason to throw a fastball, especially if it's for a strike. You walk him, you walk him. You go to the next hitter.
Next hitter would be LaHair. Pops up a breaking ball to the right side. So, Eric, you were right on the money, and it's Huff with the catch. And the Cubs lead 2 runners in scoring position as Cain pitches out of it. To the bottom of the 6th we go, 1-0 Cubs.
have come during his 11-game hitting streak. It's all tied 2-2, top of the 6th in San Diego. Off to Houston. This game was 8-2 at one point, but here come the Stros. Former Mets prospect Fernando Martinez, almost a home run. It drives in a run. Now it's 8-6 Reds with the lead. Dick Stockton, Eric Karros, back to you in San Francisco.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. And the Giants trailing 1-0 coming up against Matt Garza, who has allowed 2 hits, has struck out 5. Giants have had only 4 base runners today. 2 in the first inning. Ryan Theriot reached on an error, and he'll lead it off here. Also lined out to Darwin Barney. Posey with a single. Crawford with a double. He also has been hit by a pitch. So Brandon Crawford was up on twice. Theriot will be followed by Melky Cabrera and Buster Posey. The 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Giants, and the first pitch is strike to Theriot.
There's Melky, hoping that Theriot can get on. Again, though, Garza has just really had everything working for him today. The fastball has had a lot of life, good velocity, good movement. The breaking pitch has been there. And when he's on, he can be as good as anybody.
Won his only career start in his only appearance against the Giants last August right here at AT&T Park. And has not won a game since April the 29th when he beat the Phillies on the road. That was his only road win this year. Of course, he's 2-3. And 2-1 to Theriot. And a base hit to right field. That's what Ryan Theriot does. Leadoff man on for the Giants. Now it's time for the Just for Men Auto Stop foolproof stat. Melky Cabrera's 51 hits in May tied the San Francisco Giants record for hits in any one month. And just as the Giants can count on Melky Cabrera, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. And speaking of the Milkman, here he is. 0 for 2, reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out LeHair to Garza. There are the shadows that Eric was talking about. Way in front of the breaking pitch, strike 1.
Well, you see that there, Dick. Some pretty good company there when you're talking about Hall of Famers Willie Mays, Orlando Cepeda. Randy Wynn did it most recently with 51 hits. That's who Melky Cabrera tied.
Quite a distinction there. The 0-1. Trying to keep it away and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Garza, 28-year-old right-hander with California ties. He was born and raised near Fresno and attended Fresno State. He's going to have to contend with Buster Posey next, and a fastball is in for the strike, and it's 1-2 to Cabrera. Cabrera, one of 2 switch hitters in the Giant lineup today. Angel Pagan the other. Theriot with the lead at first. Potential tying run and a breaking ball hit in the air to left field. Soriano, late start coming in. Can't handle it. The ball gets away. And Theriot moves to second. Soriano circled around that ball and it dropped. And a 2 on now.
Well, I think you hit it right on the head, Dick. You see it was the route wasn't a direct route to the ball. He did circle around it, almost ran towards the line a little bit, and then decided to come in. Now, granted, playing here is difficult because of the wind. Not as bad as Candlestick Park used to be, but still there is a wind factor, and for visiting outfielders, it does come into play.
And that'll be ruled a base hit. So the Giants have 2 on and nobody out for Buster Posey, who has one of their 4 hits today. The tying run is at second. The lead run is at first. And as a drive to center field, Campana is there, makes the catch, tagging up as Theriot bluffs but doesn't go as the throw comes back to the infield. So Garza gets a very tough mount in Posey, and there's 1 gone to Angel Pagan.
Now Posey jumping on the first pitch. Campana making a nice play, coming in and getting that ball in quick. Pretty decent arm right there. So he's got it. Terrio initially started off the bag because it was a line drive and he didn't know if it was going to fall. When he realized that Campana was going to catch it, he tried to hustle back. I think he just wanted to draw the throw and didn't have any real serious intention of trying to take third.
So here is Angel Pagan, and he's still looking for the hit that would tie the most consecutive home hitting streak in Giant history. Pagan has struck out and was out on a bunt attempt fielded by Mather. There's a pitch in the dirt. Clevenger making the play, and it's 1-0.
And you see, look at, we talked about the bunt attempt last time. You look at where the first baseman LaHare and second baseman Barney are playing. If Pagan just takes that with him, he can walk down to first base. I mean, they are absolutely giving it to him. You get it by Garza, you've got a bases loaded situation with Huff coming to the plate.
Giants with a big chance here in the 6th inning. Back-to-back singles, 1 out, and 1-0 to Pagan. In there for the strike. A little delayed call by Chris Conroy, and it's 1-1. And a few words from Pagan to Conroy. There are the runners. Terrio at second, Melky Cabrera at first. Reaches out, hits a slow ball to Mather. The throw not in time. Off the end of the bat, and Pagan is safe on an infield hit, and that loads the bases. Terrio goes to third. Cabrera advances to second.
Well, just good placement. And again, Pagan, because of the left-handed swing, and it was a feeble swing, he's already started down the line. Mather coming in, doing as good a job as he can do. Again, I've said it a number of times, that's a big man down there at third base.
And here's Aubrey Huff. And the bases are loaded. So after giving up only 2 hits in the first 5 innings, Terrio, the tying run, is at third. Cabrera, go-ahead run at second. Pagan on at first. 3 singles here in the 6th inning. And Aubrey Huff, 0 for 2, swings on a fastball, fouls it back. Strike 1. Huff has grounded out and struck out today. And has 4 Grand Slam home runs in his career with the bases loaded. So this is the biggest jam of the game that Garza has faced. Giants at first and third in the 1st inning and didn't score. Ball getting away and no chance for an advance. 1-1 to Huff. Matt Cain hoping his offense can come through here. He has pitched very well today, but Matt Garza has one-upped him.
Well, he really has it. And even in this situation, Garza just 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. And very good at inducing the double play. 7 of them this year coming into today's game.
The 1-1 to Huff. And that one will get away. Terrio came a third of the way and then went back. As Clevenger pounced on that one, and Terrio thought the better of it and went back to the bag.
Well, 2 things there. Clevenger does a nice job. He gets there, gets set. Garza hustling to the base, not trying to time anything, not trying to go, oh, I'm going to get there when the throw gets there. He gets there and is set, ready for a throw. See, this ball squirts away, but Clevenger quick over there, slides so he can set his feet. And here comes Garza waiting for the throw.
And that may have discouraged Terrio as much as anything. Garza getting to the plate fast. 2-1 in the count. And they appeal it. And the third base umpire, Angel Hernandez, rules that Huff swung. And a big call here.
Well, you see Huff offering, and there's no question he does go right there. Nice call by third base umpire Angel Hernandez.
So it's 2-2. Bases loaded, 1 out, 1-0. The Cubs lead here in the Giants' 6th. And the count is full. 3-2 now to Huff. On deck, Joaquin Arias. Terrio, Cabrera, Pagan. Ball 4, and the game is tied. And Garza really upset with that call as Huff walks, forcing in Terrio, and the game is tied 1-1. Cabrera goes to third, Pagan to second, and Huff on at first. The bases remain loaded.
Well, Garza wants this pitch, but it's off the plate. And you see Clevenger try to bring it back and get the call, but that's absolutely not a strike. And credit Aubrey Huff right there. You know, this is a guy hitting 160 coming into today's game, but an on-base percentage of over 300 because he walks.
And that's the first walk. And Chris Bosio, the Cubs pitching coach, going to the mound, and we're going to start bullpen activity, it appears, for the Cubs down right field way, and a big conference at the mound. So Huff with his 5th RBI by virtue of the base on balls, and it's a 1-1 game, still with 1 out, and Arias coming to the plate.
And I think he is frustrated because he wants this pitch. Gray's been pitching great all game, but that is clearly a couple inches off the inner part of the plate. And what the dead giveaway is when Clevenger brings it back over the plate. If he just catches it and leaves his glove there, it's clearly a ball. He's trying to sell something to the home plate umpire. He's not buying.
Sean Camp begins to throw in the Cub bullpen. And here is Arias, who has grounded out twice today. Tying run, scoring on the walk, and the first pitch 1-0 to Arias. Cabrera at third represents the go-ahead run. Pagan is at second and Huff on at first. Big swing that time by Arias. 1-1 now.
Well, and this is where Garza can't let the game get away from him. You know, that base hit to left field, Soriano should have caught that. You've got an infield hit. You've got a call that you want for a strike 3.
Chopper to the left side. Castro to second for 1. No play at first, and the go-ahead run scores as Melky Cabrera comes around from third, and it's 2-1 in favor of the Giants. And Arias gets an RBI, and Huff doing a good job of preventing Barney from turning the double play.
Well, as we mentioned, Garza very adept at getting double plays, and he does his job. Garza is pitching great, and he is not at all excited about what's happened this inning. You know, it's not as if these guys have been banging the ball all over the ballpark. We talked about it. Soriano should have made that catch in left field. That ball Pagan hit to Mather at third, wasn't hit well. Close call on the pitch to Huff.
Runners at first and third to Brandon Crawford, and he takes a breaking ball. So the RBI for Arias is 11th of the year, and now Pagan is at third. Arias on at first base. The Giants forging in front with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Helped by 3 singles, a walk, and a fielder's choice. One and one now to Crawford, who was hit by a pitch and doubled on a pop fly that fell in between 3 Cubs defenders.
You see Dale Swain just looking on, and it's really just been a microcosm of the season so far.
2-1. Cubs got their run in the fourth on David DeJesus's second home run of the year. And the Giants getting 2 here in the sixth. Matt Cain in the on-deck circle. And Sean Camp in the Cub bullpen. Out of play, and it's 2-2 to Crawford. Another UCLA Bruin.
Good young shortstop. I'd like to get a little more consistency out in the field from him. Giant fan growing up. Parents had season tickets, and of course, as you mentioned, went to a great school.
And I say another UCLA performer. Of course, Eric Karras played for the Blue and Gold. Garza, who has seen a 1-0 lead, now 2-1. The Giants trying to pitch out of this. Runners at first and third, 2 out. 2-2 to Brandon Crawford. Pop foul out of play. Been a tough inning for Garza because of the fly ball to left that Soriano couldn't handle, and then what he thought was a questionable ball 4 to Aubrey Huff. 2-2. The runner is off from first. Line drive, right field, and it is foul. Arias was off on the pitch, and Crawford nailed it, but it was foul, and he'll come back, as will the base runners.
So they're trying to go inside, and there's not a lot of movement. Crawford gets his hands through the ball, but unable to keep it fair.
Garza has thrown 102 pitches. 7th man he's faced this inning. That's the most he's faced in any frame. Working again, 2-2. Arias is off on the pitch, and Crawford strikes out, and that ends it. But the Giants take the lead. It started with Soriano unable to handle this fly ball. As a result, the bases were loaded. Garza wasn't happy with it. Neither are the Cubs, who now trail 2-1 going into the 7th. 2 5-0 for the Giants, 1 5-1 for the Cubs. And Brian LaHare will lead off in the 7th against Matt Cain, who has a 1-run lead now in his efforts to win his 5th consecutive start. LaHare with an infield hit and then struck out his 2nd time up against Cain. 1-0 the count. LaHare will be followed by Steve Clevenger, who you see there, and Darwin Barney. And a shot right to Aubrey Huff, and there's one away. Well, here is today's smarter moment. And Ryan Theriot with Aubrey Huff at the plate. The ball got away. Garza went straight to the plate, and Theriot thought the better of it and went back to third. And as a result, Huff ultimately walked, forcing in the run. And today's smarter moment brought to you by Mazda. Better, stronger, smarter. 1-0 to Steve Clevenger. Lined into a double play and fly to Pagan in center. 1-1 now. And it's 2-1. Eric, you talked about how the numbers don't really face up to how well the Giants have played lately. And don't forget the injury, Brian Wilson, their closer, going out. Another tough one, season-ending elbow injury as Clevenger fouls out to Arias. And there are 2 down now in the 7th inning. Well, guys can save 5 gallons of water for every day that they skip shaving. And that's why Budweiser is asking baseball fans to join the Grow One, Save a Million campaign to save water for World Environment Day.
Well, you talk about this Giant ball club and what they've had to endure up to this point.
Darwin Barney, first pitch, fly ball left field. Melky Cabrera.
And we're going to talk about that when we come back, Dick. I'm telling you.
And I want to hear 1-2-3 inning for Matt Cain with the 2-1 lead. Is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. And by the 2012 Ford F-150, built Ford tough. double that barbershop quartet. And the new pitcher is Sean Camp. Sean Camp not allowed a run in his last 6 outings. And talking to Dale Swaim, he said, you know, he's our MVP to this point with the different roles he's had to fill.
Yeah, he did. He mentioned that to us prior to the game, and it's been the different roles. It's coming in the 8th. It's middle relief. And this is a guy who was picked up during spring training.
Matt Cain will lead off, and taking ball 1 outside. Cain has struck out twice, facing Matt Garza, who worked 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1, struck out 6, and left after throwing 106 pitches. And it's 2-0 to Cain, with the top of the order to follow with Gregor Blanco on deck. Giants lead 2-1. And it's 2-1 to Cain.
But getting back, I was talking about that thought at the end of the last inning, and the Giants, they're not going to overwhelm anybody, but what they do is they stay close, and they stay close because of their pitching. And just as in today's ball game, they don't score until the 6th inning. It's only a 2 spot, but because of the starting pitching, they're up 2-1.
And they grind it out. And
they do.
That's part of the prescription that they used when they won the World Series. They had more power in that team. Obviously 6 home runs at home all year, and the only home run today is by De Jesus to account for the Cubs run as Cain lifts a base hit. Only his 5th hit of the year, but it couldn't come at a better time for him. Leadoff base hit with the top of the order coming up.
Not really a whole lot to say here, except ball hits end of bat and finds hole. I mean, that's not graceful. That's not good. Look at this. Now, I've seen Adrian Beltre go down on a knee and hit the ball out of the ballpark. Matt Cain going down on a knee, though, is a completely different animal.
I'm going to read that book. Ball hit. Sounds like a blurb for a book. As Blanco 0 for 3 comes up, throw to first base to keep Cain close.
Yeah, now see, this is what I don't understand. If I'm Lahair, I'm playing off. Now I'll play in front because Blanco may bunt, but there's really not a lot of reason to be holding on Matt Cain right now.
Especially with a left-handed batter. Hits it to the second baseman Barney. Castro for 1. The throw to first, not in time, as Blanco beats the throw, and he's safe on the fielder's choice. Well, this MLB on Fox season, Fox Sports is proud to support Boys and Girls Clubs of America, a place where youth can reach their full potential as productive, caring, responsible citizens. To learn more, please visit greatfutures.org/Fox Sports. Yeah, I know I said there'd be no props, but we're wearing the bowler hats because that's what they used to wear down in 1912.
I can thankfully say that I wasn't around in 1912 because this was not being a flattering look for me at all.
Neither was I, by the way. Here is Terrio, throw to first base. That's our contribution to the turn of the century.
Yeah, no, you know what, though? This has been a nice day out here. You know, the way that the guys are in the old-time uniforms. They've had the yellers announcing who's coming to the plate. You know, all the video has been taken away. And it's nice once in a while. Now, I'm not advocating it on an everyday, what do you call it, everyday event? I'm at a loss for words. I just got caught back into 1912.
No, you're not.
I don't want to see it every day, though.
Terrio 1 for 3. He was reached also with an error, singled and scored the tying run last inning. We mentioned Brian Wilson out, and Santiago Casilla suffered a bruised shin bone, and he's day-to-day and trying to field a bunt last night. So the Giants are thin in the closers department.
Yeah, and remember Romo stretching, partially dislocated his kneecap. He'd been down for a couple days. He's ready to go today, though, if Bruce Bochy needs to call on him. And you mentioned Casilla. He's not available today.
Right.
There's Boch right there.
Managed the world champion.
Yeah, you know, like I said, with what they've had to go through, you got to give a lot of credit to Boch in this coaching staff. And, you know, I've been looking at a lot of things, being down in L.A. and seeing the Dodgers a lot. You know, everybody's enamored with the way that the Dodgers have started, but they haven't even gone to the Eastern time zone yet. The schedule has been very favorable for the Dodgers. The Giants have had to grind it out.
And a big issue, of course, is Matt Kemp.
Well, Matt Kemp is going to be down. My guess is probably at least through the All-Star break. I mean, they're talking about 4 weeks, 5 weeks with the hamstring, and you know that runs you right up until July. I mean, not really a good reason to bring you back for a few games and then sit you down for a week. Just, you know, be safe. But I think it's the Giants and the Dodgers in this division. And I'll tell you what, I can put it on the calendar right now. Those last 3 games of the year, Giants versus Dodgers.
They're the only teams over 500 in the NL West. Terrio with the count, no balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Blanco the runner at first. Giants batting in the 7th and diving back close that time. Blanco with 6 steals this year in 8 tries and trying to get in the scoring position. Giants here in the 7th looking for some insurance run. Camp is ahead 0-2. The runner goes. Ground ball to second base. Barney's only play is to first. And so by running, the Giants stay out of the double play. And there are 2 out. Runner in scoring position and Melky Cabrera coming up. Again, who should start in Kansas City in the All-Star game in July 10th? And the Twitter poll, we've asked you to vote. Melky yes 93, Melky no 7. Let's see.
Well, look,
I think
should he be considered? Yes. I'm just not sure that he's a starter right now. Again, you got some guys with some power, some guys, you know, when you're talking about Beltran and Stanton, Ethier, RBIs.
Well, let's see what Cabrera does in an RBI situation here with his team up 2-1 and a runner in scoring position.
Well, I tell you, if they give him anything good to hit, that's a real problem if I'm a Cub pitcher right now.
And time called. And
they're going to talk this over.
Yeah.
Hey, do you think I should give him something good to hit? Well, you know, he had 51 hits last month.
They got Posey on deck.
Yeah, but it's righty versus righty. I'd take that right now over the guy with 51 hits in 1 month.
Especially when it was last month.
Especially when it was last month. Heck, he's already got 3 hits this month. He's hot. I wouldn't touch him.
Yeah. Giants are 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position today, and now make it, well, let's wait. Fly ball, left center field. Campana makes the catch to retire the side. 1 for 8. They strand a runner at second. We go to the 8th. The Giants with a slim 2-1 lead, but a lead. America, presented by Budweiser. And Matt Cain with a 2-1 lead. The Giants have out-hit the Cubs 6-5. And in the 8th inning, it'll be Joe Mather leading off, and a pinch hitter should be coming up for the Cubs. Ian Stewart is in the on-deck circle, and Carlos Marmol is warming up in the bullpen for the Cubs. So here's Mather, who's 0 for 2, who's fly to left and struck out. We've been talking about the draft, and of course, Eric, you make a good point that the draft isn't going to help you tomorrow. But there is a player that the Cubs do have that is ready to be called up, which we'll talk about, in Anthony Rizzo, a first baseman. And there's a sharply hit ground ball, backhanded by Crawford. Mather is retired, and there's one away. And we're going to have the pinch hitter, Ian Stewart, will be batting for Camp.
Well, Crawford doing a nice job of getting over there. Now he slides. The reason he slides is to be able to gather himself. Comes up, has his body already turned towards first. Good, strong throw to Aubrey Huff.
So Ian Stewart batting 196 and 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. And ball one all the way back. Anyway, Anthony Rizzo, who originally was Red Sox property, and they traded him to San Diego in the Adrian Gonzalez deal. Red Sox hierarchy always liked him, and now that they're in Chicago, reacquired him, and he's burning up AAA Iowa and is on the brink of coming up to the big club. He hasn't played since Monday because of a wrist injury, but he is one of those people that the Cubs feel they can count on for the future.
Well, they hope that he's a guy that can provide power, can be a cornerstone player. I mean, there's a number of reasons why you don't bring him up yet. One of them is, you know, you don't want to get that clock ticking as far as arbitration is concerned. No reason to bring him up right now. The other thing, too, you bring him up, who's going to protect him in the lineup? You know, the expectations will be there. You want him, when he comes up, to have some success, because he's proven he can do everything in the minor leagues.
Pitches up high to Stewart. Pinch hitting for Sean Camp. Dale Swain with one out, trying to get a man aboard. Following the top of the order will be Tony Campana on deck. Gets Matt Cain, missed outside. And a full count to Ian Stewart.
Well, he's got Stewart up at the plate looking for one thing, and that's for him to run into something and drive it over the wall.
Cain has thrown exactly 100 pitches to this point. The 3-2. Foul ball out of play, went after the pitch on the outside part of the plate. Did Stewart.
Well, Stewart is a guy that the Cubs had hoped would live up to the potential that the Rockies saw a few years ago, but he just hasn't been able to do it. They'd like to see, he's got tremendous power, but it just hasn't translated in games.
Another foul ball. Did hit 43 home runs for the Rockies in 09 and 2010.
Right. Again, it's there, and that's what's frustrating for evaluators, for management, because it's there. They don't see it or don't get it on an everyday basis.
One out, bases empty. The 3-2 again, and again Ian Stewart stays alive with a foul ball. 10th overall pick by Colorado in 2005.
And you see, you know, that nice start, first 140 some odd games, 25 home runs. But it was in Colorado. There are a lot of guys that look real good in Colorado.
And then they go elsewhere, and reality sometimes sets in. Cain getting ready to throw his 10th pitch to Ian Stewart. Pinch hitting here in the 8th inning with one out. Giants in front 2-1, and time called. You've just joined us. Players wearing the uniforms of 1912, when they were the New York Giants, moved to San Francisco in 1958.
Well, Stewart having a nice at-bat. The 11th pitch of the at-bat coming up. Again, the more he sees, the more chance there is that Kane makes a mistake.
Three-two pitch and a ground ball to second base. Terrio throws out the pinch hitter Ian Stewart, and there are two down in the 8th. Well, last week, Jeff Francoeur became the latest star to stop by the MLB Fan Cave. Francoeur was serenaded with an original ballad by cave dweller Ricky Mast.
Well, I'm here to sing a song about a guy we adore. He's a baseball player by the name of Francoeur. They call him Frenchie. If you want someone to hustle, then he is the guy that you will call. Is that right? No.
Watch MLB Fan Cave player videos and stay up to date on the latest cave happenings by visiting MLBFancave.com and follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave on Facebook. Campana. Count now 2 strikes as he swings and misses. And the third baseman Arias was playing in for the possible bunt, now moves back. 2 out and 2 strikes to Campana, who's had a couple of infield hits and a couple of stolen bases, also thrown out once. 2 for 3. Rhythmic applause by the Giant fans, and that one is up high.
Well, Kane has continued his mastery of the Chicago Cub ball club. Had a lot of success over his career. Again, just 1 pitch today, and
strikes him out. 7 strikeouts for Kane. He gets Campana, and the Giants come up in the 8th, still clinging to the 2-1 lead. Eighth, Carlos Marmol, the new pitcher for the Cubs, 3rd of the day, and facing Buster Posey. Looks at ball 1. Posey 1 for 3 with a single. Marmol, 29-year-old right-hander from the Dominican Republic, came off the disabled list Monday, had a hamstring injury. and has had 2 scoreless one-inning stints since, including last night.
Well, again, remember, he started the year as the Cubs closer. Kerry Wood was the setup guy. Marmol has been replaced. Kerry Wood retired.
Good breaking ball on the inside corner.
See, and that's the thing. He just threw 2 fastballs, couldn't get him over, goes to the breaking ball, and that's the pitch that he feels the most confidence in. There it is again.
Slowly hit to third. Mather throws out Posey, and there's 1 out. Well, Chevrolet is helping to build the next generation of diamonds and dreams. Here's our own Ken Rosenthal to tell you more.
As part of Chevrolet's Diamonds and Dreams Youth Field Makeover program, Chevrolet employees recently started a field makeover right in their own backyard at Jane Field in the city of Detroit. The Jane Field project is just one of the many field makeovers Chevy has completed since 2010. Enter your community for a youth field makeover at ChevyBaseball.com.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Angel Pagan, inside fastball, 1-0 to him. Pagan, 1 for 3. With an infield hit. Garza worked 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits. Sean Camp gave up a hit in his 1-inning stint. And now Marmol. And it's 1-1 to Pagan. Switch hitting center fielder. Great acquisition from the Mets. Brian Sabian has made some terrific trades for this team.
Well, things have really worked out in this early part of the season. You talk about the Melky Cabrera for Jonathan Sanchez deal. That's been favorable. Picking up Gregor Blanco, Joaquin Arias over at third. Obviously, this deal with Pagan. I mean, everything has fit. And it has a lot of resemblance of that 2010 season.
As you said, the Giants and the Dodgers, looks like it'll be those 2. Pagan pops it up. Mather makes the catch on the infield grass, and there'll be 2 down. Well, play Fox Baseball Hot Streak and win cash prizes. It's as easy as picking a player, picking a stat, and starting a hot streak. Plus, pick 15 straight correctly and win $15 in Fox Sports Shopping Bucks. Log on to foxsports.com/fantasy and start your streak today. 2 out, and here's Aubrey Huff. Big at bat in the 6th inning, drawing a walk with the bases loaded and getting the tying run in, and then Arias with the fielder's choice to go hit run.
Hey, you really hit it right on the head, Dick, that is the at bat of the game, and it's a walk. A bases loaded 3-2 walk. And it was on a tough pitch, but it was definitely a ball.
On the corner, and it's 1-1. Looking ahead to the Cubs in the 9th inning, they'll have the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Starlin Castro, David DeJesus, who hit the home run to account for the Cubs run, and Alfonso Soriano.
Well, and really, but both pitchers today, Garza and Kane, extremely good outings. You know, Garza, he didn't get any help from his defense. I mean, it's as simple as that.
You're right. It was that single that led it off Terrio, and then the fly ball to left field where Cabrera was safe when Soriano couldn't make the play, and that could have been a huge out.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good route. And that's the bottom line. And, you know, then an infield hit to Mather at third by Pagan, and, you know, then what could have been a double play. I mean, again, Garza deserved much better today.
So the 2-run 6th looms large for the Giants. And the curveball, strike 3, and Marmol with a 1-2-3 inning. And the Cubs coming up in the 9th inning with those 3. King's smooth play of the game.
Not real exciting, but probably the most important play all day long. Matt Garza throws a pitch that he felt was a strike. Aubrey Huff, I don't know if he took it on purpose or just couldn't pull the trigger, but so far that's the difference.
Starlin Castro here in the 9th inning against Matt Cain with bullpen activity for the Giants. And Castro takes a strike. He has struck out twice and popped up Javier Lopez, the left-hander, and Sergio Romo, who is out for 3 games for partially dislocating his kneecap. And he was activated before the game. Another smooth play of the game is Gabriel Angelo playing the trumpet here. Cubs would prefer that. The Giants would take the walk. 0-2 to Castro with David DeJesus on deck and then Alfonso Soriano. 1-2, and Cain and the crowd wanted that pitch.
Well, this is the reason Cain was signed to a multi-year deal. He faced the heart of this Cub lineup. 9th inning, 1-run lead.
And time is called. Five hits for the Cubs, 3 coming in the 4th inning when they scored their run. Slider missing, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. DeJesus on deck, has homered and walked. Matt Cain looking for his 15th complete game of the year. And now falls behind 3-2. Of the career, that is. If he had 15 complete games this year, he already would be named the All-Star starting pitcher.
He'd be scheduling an arm surgery.
After the All-Star game. 3-2 pitch fouled out of play. And Castro stays alive. So Matt Cain, 5-2 in his career against the Cubs, and holding them to a 177 average, best against any National League team. And a terrific job this afternoon. And outside, ball 4, loses Castro, who walks to start the 9th inning. Second walk issued by Cain, and the tying run is at first base with DeJesus coming up. And Bruce Bochy is going to make the change. He's going to bring in Javier Lopez here, who saved last night's game. So that'll be all for Matt Cain. He'll get a hand when he leaves the mound. goes in with Castro on at first base. 2-1 the Giants lead, and David DeJesus, who has homered and walked against Matt Cain. And last night it was Lopez who picked up his first save of the year, 6th of his career, and he bailed out Santiago Casilla, who was injured, by retiring Clevenger and DeJesus to end the game. Jeremy Affeldt joined Sergio Romo in the Giant bullpen, and the bunt attempt is fouled for a strike.
Well, the one thing about the Cubs this year, the offense hasn't been there, but late in the game, it really has. And from the 7th inning on, only 3 teams in all of baseball have scored more runs than the Cubs. You remember last night, 4-0 lead for the Giants going into the 9th. They put up 3. And Dale Swain was saying, we just need to score early because we can score late.
Yeah. They haven't scored off of the starters. You're right. James Russell, a left-hander, is working in the bullpen in hopes that he'll have to pitch in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 0-1 to DeJesus. Grounded to third base. Playing in was Arias, and they turned the double play. DeJesus hit it right to Arias, who was playing in. And he turns and around the horn double play, and there are 2 out, nobody on base. Big play defensively.
Well, and you see Lopez just gets in on DeJesus' hands, and he just squirts the ball the other way.
And they're going to bring in Sergio Romo to face Soriano. With 2 out, the base is clear. A hand for Lopez. Did it again in relief. Romo can close it out with 2 out, nobody on base after Javier Lopez got DeJesus to hit into a double play. So here's Soriano, 1 for 3 with a double, 0 for 5 in his career against Romo, who's looking for his first save of the year. Giants leading 2-1. We're in the top of the 9th inning, and a good breaking pitch over strike 1.
You see, and that is Romo's pitch, that slider. He's been virtually unhittable this year. 14 innings, 8 hits, 20 strikeouts.
No balls and 2 strikes to Soriano.
2 sliders. What do you think he's getting here, Dick?
And the crowd on its feet. Ground ball to shortstop. Crawford throws out Soriano, and the Giants win it 2-1. And Matt Cain, with his 5th straight victory, goes to 6-2 on the year. He threw 117 pitches, the most he has thrown in any game. Romo gets the save. Garza, a tough loss for him, as the Giants send the Cubs to their 9th straight road loss. And the Giants go to 29-24 and remain 4 games behind the Dodgers, who won today. We'll be right back.